Hello there. The Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage has warned the Prime Minister Boris Johnson that he should drop his deal, go for a proper free trade agreement with the European Union and form a pact between the Tories and the Brexit Party to get the general election won for Brexit. The Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage kicked off his general election campaign by warning at his press conference that if the Prime Minister Boris Johnson stuck to referring to his own withdrawal agreement treaty as Brexit, then Farage would stand candidates against the Conservative Party in every seat in England, Scotland and Wales. The press conference started off with Brexit Party MEPs Richard Tice and Widdecombe and Claire Fox all laying into the dire state of Westminster party politics, and especially the two main parties. Now, most pundits had assumed that Farage would come out with a pared-down campaign to contest only those seats where there were Labour Remain candidates, but where the local electorate had voted to leave the EU in 2016. Somewhere possibly between as few as, say, 20 seats and up to maybe a couple of hundred. But I'm not sure they had fully factored in the strength of feeling Nigel has where the Prime Minister's Brexit in name-only withdrawal agreement treaty is concerned. The Farage message was that the PM's deal was not Brexit, and that by the time polling day came, unless Boris had dropped the whole sorry withdrawal agreement and political declaration into the shredder, then Tory candidates would be facing off against the Brexit Party candidates across the whole of England, Scotland and Wales, but not Northern Ireland because the Brexit Party is not registered there. Now, as candidate nominations don't have to be lodged with returning officers until, I think, the 14th of November, then those on both the Leave side and on the Remain side of this election contest do have a little time to form agreements between like-minded parties. And something that might inform their thinking is a study conducted by YouGov of 11,000 voters that shows, at present, most of the Leave vote will coalesce around the Tories. But it also shows that the Remain vote looks to be more evenly split amongst the Remain parties. What it says is that 58% of referendum Leave voters currently intend to vote for the Tories, with about a quarter opting for the Brexit Party. But on the Remain side, Labour and the Lib Dems have about a third of the referendum Remain vote each. Also, compared to the 2017 general election, the Tories look set to keep 73% of their voters, with a sizable chunk of the rest going to the Brexit Party. But Labour could be on course to only keep 55% of the vote it got in 2017, with many peeling off to add to the Lib Dem vote. There are also some other relatively significant moves, as some of the Tory voters thinking of moving party mostly go to the Lib Dems, and some Labour Party voters now intend to vote for the Tories and the Brexit Party. And when the movements are all factored in, the weighted headline voting intention from the data is as follows. Tories at the top with 36%, Labour next with 22%, then the Lib Dems in third with 19%, the Brexit Party in fourth with 12%, the Greens on 6%, the SNP on 4%, and all the others make up the final 1%. And a panel-based political poll put the potential vote down as follows. Conservatives on 40%, Labour on 29%, the Lib Dems in third on 14%, the Brexit Party on 9%, the Green Party on 3%, and the rest all mopping up the final 5%. Now, I do understand that many people think polls either lie or are completely wrong. But this is some of the data that's out there, and it shouldn't just be ignored. Also, please don't get misled by the echo chambers of social media and of the bias of some of the press. Now, the one statement that Nigel Farage made about the Boris Johnson treaty that shows how bad he thinks the deal really is was, putting it very simply, that if we continue down this route, there will not be trade deals with the USA or indeed, I don't think, any other parts of the world. Boris's deal gives us all of the burdens of EU membership, but no say whatsoever, and it will not get Brexit done. In fact, what it will do is lead to a campaign in which people say we have no voice, we have no vote, and we have no veto in the few areas that are left. It will lead to a campaign for us to rejoin, a campaign that if it was put to a referendum, I have no doubt would actually succeed. And some of his words do mirror those of the US President Donald Trump, speaking on the Farage LBC radio show last night. Now that was a bit of a scoop for the Brexit Party leader, wasn't it? Farage also said that two of the answers that the Prime Minister gave to MPs in the House of Commons regarding his deal on fisheries and trade between Great Britain and Northern Ireland were untrue. So Farage said he was not sure that if in his rush to bounce the deal through, Boris had actually checked out the details of the deal himself. Now, all that says to me is that Nigel Farage is obviously focusing in on defeating the Boris Johnson deal and going after a clean break Brexit with a free trade agreement as the aim. And if the Prime Minister continues to pursue that deal and keep calling it Brexit, Farage promised to ensure that every household in the land was told the truth about the Withdrawal Agreement treaty, and said that when they found out what Boris was really signing them up to, they would not be happy bunnies. Farage also pointed out that in 2015, when he was leading UKIP in that general election, UKIP sucked more votes out of Labour than it did out of the Tories, and he also said that, actually, there wouldn't have been a Conservative majority if it hadn't been for the effects of the UKIP vote. So this continued lazy thinking that somehow Brexit voters are all Conservatives is nonsense. And Nigel implored Boris and any other Brexiteers out there to come together as a Leave coalition to really get Brexit done. So going back to those poll figures I mentioned earlier, if Nigel Farage, in his usual persuasive way, followed this path, then we could well see the balance between the Brexit Party and the Tories shift as the election day approached. And that is something Boris Johnson will be keen to avoid. After all, remember how the Tory lead evaporated so quickly in 2017. But most commentators say that there is no way that Boris and the Tories would ever do this sort of deal with Nigel and his Brexit Party, let alone anyone else. And the chairman of the Tory party Eurosceptic European Research Group, or ERG, Steve Baker, said, "The reason every Conservative Eurosceptic MP backed the deal is that it can deliver a Brexit worth having. But Boris will only negotiate a great future for the UK if he has a good majority of resolute Conservative MPs. Nigel now risks that and our future. It is completely inconceivable that the Conservative Party would now go for a no deal and a pact. Is Nigel a statesman or a campaigner? We are about to find out." And his deputy chairman on the ERG, Mark Francois, said, "Do you really think he is going to bully people like Bill Cash or IDS or Owen Paterson? Have you ever met these people? Look at the MPs who voted for the deal. Sir Bill Cash, Owen Paterson, John Redwood, Andrew Bridgen, Steve Baker, myself, all lifelong Eurosceptics. Do you really think we would have voted for that deal if we thought it kept us in the European Union? Of course not. I'm sorry, Nigel is a very talented politician, but anyone who works with him will tell you he's often his own worst enemy, and his ego has got the better of him. I don't think he's going to bully any Tory MP into doing anything they don't want to do. And earlier, Robert Jenrick, the Housing Secretary, had said, "We are not interested in doing any pacts with the Brexit Party, or indeed with anybody else. We are in this to win it." Over the next few days, I think we will see Farage and his team go after the Boris deal like a pack of attack dogs, while the Tories will do all they can to rebut every criticism. 'Twill be interesting to say the least. Now, although we did not leave the European Union last night as Boris continually claimed we would, we do have one piece of good news. We have seen the House of Commons freed at last from the clutches of that rogue Speaker John Bercow. And on this upcoming Monday, the 4th of November, the only item on the House of Commons order paper is the election of a new Speaker, starting at 2:30 p.m. Now I know the whole of Westminster needs modernising, but when there are rules they should be observed, and if the rules are wrong, they should be changed, not ignored. So let's hope we get a new Speaker who will be less inclined to reinterpret the rules of the House into disrepute. After all, if our lawmakers are prepared to bend their own laws to breaking point to get the result they want, why shouldn't the rest of us do it too? Anyway, what do you think? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. And thank you very much for watching.